This one of them joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your isn't right. Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashing for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loot's and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route and working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch, that's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless, empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. What's happening with my family, man? Y'all already know what to do, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. Please and thank you. Yes, indeed. And y'all already know my first order of business. I got to hydrate my game, put some of this good old love in my body. You dig? You got to love Colombia, man. You just got to love it, man. You know why you got to love it? Because this shit right here, this bottle of water, you already know, in the U.S. for a bottle of water this size, it's going to be probably at least $2, if not more, depending on where you go. But Here in Colombia, this bottle of water is about probably less than 30 cents, somewhere between 25 and 30 cents for this bottle of water, man. So you got to love Colombia, man. Cheers to the game and cheers to Colombia. You dig? Right, official global game. You already know what I'm talking about. Shit, this shit is less than $1. Or, nah, this right here is less than 75 cents. Cause it's about 950 pesos. Depending on where you go, some places it might be a meal, which is 1,000 pesos. Some places it might be 950. Like a lot of diunos you go to, every diuno seem to be different. But a lot of the diunos that you go to, especially in Medellin, this is 950, which is somewhere close to 30 cents. Right, that's like $3 in the U.S. You already know, man. You know the U.S. taxes for everything, man. Same bottle of water, same shit. It probably costs the same amount of money to make. But they gonna do what they do, man. They gonna put they shit on top of it. You dig? But yeah, cause you figure $1 is about 3,600 pesos, roughly somewhere between 3,700 pesos. So you figure like a meal is like less than a third of that. And yeah. So water is cheap as hell, man. But yeah, we gonna chop this game, man. You dig? Get my shit right. Hold on. 36, 37. Okay. Make sure I can see the comment section good, because sometimes I can't see it good on the laptop screen, but I can see it better on the phone screen. You dig? Yeah, I wanted to chop a little game about why the ladies have such a hard time, finding the right fella, finding the right guy. And, it's several reasons that we're going to get into, man. It can be a plethora of reasons, but we gonna touch on a few of them this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you at. It's afternoon where I'm at. Might be morning time where you at. It might be evening time where you at, depending on what part of the world you in, because we be having an international audience around here, man. People be tapping in and tuning in from around the world with this game. You dig? So yeah, man, one of the most obvious reasons, but we gonna dive deep into it, why a lot of ladies have a hard time finding the right guy is because of the false sense of importance that they get from social media. Them notifications, man, and that ain't just for ladies, because there's a lot of guys that get affected that way too, that they feel more important than what they actually are. And they get a false sense of self-importance, false sense of self-value by all of these notifications that they get. And for the ladies, they get all these notifications and it makes them feel more important. It makes them feel more valuable in a way that they shouldn't. And what they don't think about is the quality of the connections with these people that might be liking your posts, that might follow you on social media, that might comment on your posts, that might get in your DM. You're not really thinking about the quality of the connection that you have with these people, which in most cases is very extremely low. You're not having like a deep, meaningful connection with these people, yet and still you have a deep, meaningful sense of self-value in your mind based on your connections with these people, which is crazy if you really think about it. And see, the problem with that, the problem with this false sense of self-value, this false sense of self-importance, is that it distracts you from you being the best version of yourself that you possibly could be. it distracts you from tuning in and tapping in with your real value, your real sense of self-importance. And see, when you're able to tap into that as a woman, then, you know, you'll be able to develop that and become, you know, develop your true value and become more meaningful and valuable in real life to where you can mean something to somebody. See, when you just basing your sense of self-value off of how many notifications you get on social media, then you're not really developing yourself. You're not really, you know, in tune with your true value. Your sense of self-value comes from these notifications with these people that you don't know, these people that don't know you, these people that you don't have like a real true relationship with. You know, y'all don't know anything about each other. The only thing you know is that, you know, they interested in, you know, more than likely just the way you look. Hold on. Excuse my pimping. Allergies been kind of fucking with me, man, since I've been here in this Bogota, man. I don't know what it is. I don't recall sneezing as much when I was in these other cities around Colombia, but for some reason this Bogota got me sneezing more. But man, excuse my pimping. But yeah, you know, it's really unfortunate that, you know, a lot of ladies, like I said, get this false sense of self-value by these notifications and things like that. And, you know, the most that you're going to get, and that's if you maximize these connections with these people that, you know, accumulate these notifications for you, the most you're going to get out of that is a break-in. Because if you really think about it, most of these guys that are liking on your posts, commenting on your posts, following you, flooding your DM and all this type of shit, most of them are bound by the spirit of tricking. Most of them would love to trick on you if they had the opportunity to. You probably just don't know that. And, you know, a lot of y'all probably might not be them type of chicks this looking for a breaking, but then again, a lot of y'all are. And, you know, just telling you from a man's perspective and understanding this game from a game's perspective, that's really the most that you're going to get out of them. You know, the majority of those people, the majority of those guys that's engaging with your social media one way or another, the most you're going to get out of that is a break-in. And, you know, of course, you're going to need some game in order to make that happen, especially on a consistent basis. But that's the most you're going to get out of that, because that's really what they want to do. They would love to trick on you if they had the opportunity to. Because if you really think about it, like I said, you got this sense of this, just you being honest with yourself. If you be honest with yourself, you'll understand that you have this false sense of self-importance based on these notifications, right? And these notifications are so important to you because they stroke your ego and they make you feel good emotionally about yourself. These notifications are so important to you. In a lot of cases, you value these notifications more than you do actual money. These notifications are like a form of currency to you. You can't go to the store and buy nothing with these notifications. You can't pay no bills with these notifications. You can't invest in anything with these notifications. But, you know, it's an emotional currency for you. The more banked up you become on these notifications, the richer you become emotionally as far as how you feel about yourself. And that's where that false sense of self-value comes from. But for a lot of y'all, these notifications are more valuable to you than money. They mean more to you than actual money that you can buy things with. Right? So if you think about it, you know, a guy that don't mind tricking, he gonna make it rain on the chick with money. Especially if he understands that this money is gonna get the attention from this woman that he wants. He ain't gonna have no problem making it rain on her. he ain't gonna have no problem taking her shopping or, spending money on her in whatever way that she want money spent on her, because, that's his way in, and he understands that, right? But what a lot of guys don't understand is that when you making it rain with attention, it might as well be the same thing as making it rain with money. If you showering this chick with likes, if you showering her with comments, if you showering her with messages in the DM, in her mind, that's better to her than money. The only difference is, by it being through social media, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the desired effect, because she don't have to do as much for the attention as she would for the money. See, if you out somewhere, in real life, engaging with somebody face to face, and if you giving a chick money face to face, 9 times out of 10, you got a better chance of getting something out of that in exchange for that money. You got a better chance of, getting whatever it is that you want from that chick. But the notifications, she can get them and she don't have to do nothing for them. She don't have to give you anything for this attention. She don't have to give you anything for these notifications. But yet and still, like I said, it doesn't change the fact that these notifications for a lot of these chicks is more important than money. Because ultimately it's about how they feel. As a woman, how you feel is in most cases is more important than anything. You only want money ultimately because it makes you feel a certain way. Notifications make you feel a certain way. Right? So that's why these notifications are so important to you, because ultimately they make you feel a certain way. But again, like I said, the unfortunate thing about valuing these notifications and getting this false sense of self-value from these notifications, it takes you away from your true value and what you can mean, because that's what you really want, not just as a woman, but just as a human being, period. You want to mean something to people, especially the people that you close to, or the people that you want to be close to. If it's a man that's going to be your significant other or your folks or whatever it is, you want to have a sense of meaning to that person. You want to mean something to that person. And, when you caught up in this social media shit, it's going to take you away from that. When you caught up in the notifications, it's going to take you away from that. Because if you in tune with yourself and your true sense of self-value, and you want to mean something to the people that surround you, then you're going to be thinking to yourself, okay, this is what's going to make me meaningful to this man. This is what's going to make me meaningful to the prospective man that I want in my life. Just the basic things as a woman, because a lot of these chicks who value these notifications, they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to wash dishes. They don't know how to do laundry. And I know you think these are simple things, but trust me, I know from experience, a lot of chicks do not know how to do something as simple as wash dishes. You would think the act of washing dishes is something straightforward and simple, but no. Most of these bitches, if you sit there and watch them wash dishes, and then you come behind them and try to eat off one of them dishes, you're going to see food stains or residue, or you're going to see something on there. And you're going to think to yourself, like, who washed these dishes? Stevie Wonder? Did Ray Charles wash these dishes? Helen Keller wash these dishes? Nah, this bitch whose eyes, hands, and brain function perfectly fine washed these dishes. It looked like Helen Keller washed these motherfuckers, but nah, her ass with them good working eyes and good working mind and good working hands, she did this shit. But that comes from nobody ever holding them to a standard of, doing shit right. But that's a different conversation. We'll get into at another time. But the bottom line is, when you get away from that, when you come to understand that those notifications don't really mean anything, because again, the connection that you have with the people who are giving you these notifications is, almost non-existent. You don't really have a connection with those people. So these notifications don't really mean shit. Yeah, they make you feel good. You get a little dopamine hit from it and all that. But when that's said and done, they don't really mean anything. You can't really do anything with that in real life in most cases, unless you know how to monetize yourself, which that's a different conversation. But most chicks who seek these notifications don't know how to monetize themselves and don't capitalize off of it and don't, generate revenue off of it. So it's just the only thing it means to them is, feeling good about themselves emotionally. But once you're able to realize that these notifications don't really mean shit, and you're able to get in tune with yourself as a woman and start developing yourself as a woman, then you're going to make yourself available for the better quality of man that you want. If you just tapped into these notifications and you're not developing yourself and you deteriorating yourself because you're so caught up in this world and you're not progressing in any way, you're not developing in any way, then you ain't gonna find what you want. But then again, when you caught up in this shit, you don't even know what you want. You might say to yourself that you want, a man that's so tall and got so much money and is in shape like this and this, that, and the third. But, those are all superficial things. He might be a lame ass nigga. He might be, the height that you want him to be. He might have the build that you want him to have. He might be handsome in the face like you want him to be. And, he might make the kind of money that you want him to make. And he might have the material things that you want him to have. But all of those things are superficial things, and they don't say anything as to, what type of man he might be. But when you don't know what type of woman you are or what type of woman you're supposed to be in order to have the type of man that you want, it's just going to be two people together who are caught up in superficial things. But as you can imagine, that's going to present a whole lot of problems. Because, again, like I said, he might be a lame. He might be weird. He might be scandalous. But when you don't, like I say all the time, when you stand for less, you fall for more. And when you don't stand for the right things internally, then you're going to fall for the wrong things externally. And that's what's happening with a lot of chicks. See, like I said, when you start to develop yourself as a woman, you start to develop your character. And, like I said, you building yourself up to be the right woman for the right man. Then you start to think about things that mean something. Like, what type of man is this? Because it's all kind of lames that's tall. It's all kind of lames that's in shape. It's all kind of lames with money. Suckers, busters, weirdos, all that. But, it's okay to want those things. But what type of character does this individual have? What does what does his value system consist of? What's important to him? Does he have a good relationship with his family? All those types of things, at least to me, that shit means something. Like I stress that all the time, man. When I meet a chick, that's one of the first things I'm trying to figure out is what type of relationship does she have with her family? Because back to the woman, if you get this dude who, like I said, he fits all this external criteria that you might have for him, but you're not in tune with yourself and don't understand your true value and therefore don't understand the true value of a man, you don't know how he is with people. See, when you see a man that has a good relationship with his family, then that'll give you an idea as to how he can be good to you At least you know that he's good to somebody. At least you know that somebody values him. At least you know that he means something to somebody. And there's a reason for that. And it's not just because they're family, because as many of y'all know, just like I know, you got plenty of people that's family members that are worse to each other than strangers, right? But if somebody has a good relationship with their family, then that'll give you a better idea as to, you know, how they might be when it comes to dealing with you. You know, so like I said, me myself, when it comes to women, that's one thing that I pay attention to and that I look for. And as I think about it, and as I've said before, you know, some of the worst chicks that I've dealt with didn't really have a good relationship with their family. You know, they mama scandalous, they grandma scandalous, they aunties and uncles are scandalous, they siblings, the whole family just scandalous. Whole family scandalous, man. You know, but on the other hand, those chicks that are tight with their family, that got good relationships with their family, that look out for each other with their family, those are the chicks that I tend to have the best connections with, that I seem to go the furthest with, and, you know, are the most enjoyable, right? Especially by me being in the game, you know, those chicks whose family don't judge them for being in the game and still love them just the same, even though they in the game. Yeah, those are the ones that I usually have the best connections with. You know, the ones that ain't judging me for being the pimping on their daughter or pimping on their niece or cousin or sister or, you know, whoever. Yeah, man. You know, because they understand it's real life. And like I've said before, man, just a side note, hey, man, you know, them family members and shit, man, they don't have a problem with the pimping and hoeing when they could benefit from that shit. You know, they got a problem with it when they can't benefit from it. They got a lot of judgment for the game when they can't benefit from it. You know, when they can't borrow some money from you, when they can't get some help with their groceries or their bills or some shit like that. Yeah, the game is so ugly and it's so wicked and it's so foul and this, that, and the third. You know, but man, the pimping is their favorite person when, you know, they could come to their daughter or their sister or whoever and borrow a few $100s, you know what I mean? And they know that the pimping is behind it, you know what I mean? Now pimping is the greatest guy on the planet, you know? But yeah, man, you know, like I said, man, you know, that value is a big reason why a lot of chicks have a hard time finding the right man. So the key is to get in tune with yourself as a woman. Understand what the true value of a woman really is and what it really means and how you can develop that within yourself. Pay attention to the older women that might be in your family, you know, that might have been married for a long time, 30, 40, 50 years or whatever. You know, study them, try to understand them, dig off in their mind, you know, see how they became the way that they are, right? And you're going to have a better chance at finding the right man, putting the right man in your life. You know, and then, you know, that's another thing too, right? Another reason why you having a hard time finding the right man is because you spend so much time on social media, and even though they call it social media makes you socially awkward. For real, social media makes you socially awkward, man. You know, I know a lot of y'all could probably relate to this shit, and a lot of y'all have probably done this shit or do this shit. But man, you know, you ever go to a restaurant and you look over at the table next to you and you see a couple on a date and both of them is in their phone the whole time like this? They ain't even talking to each other hardly. Only time they might talk to each other is when they show each other something on their phone, like, look at this. Ain't that funny? But other than that, you know, they in two totally different worlds. They sitting there face to face with each other, but they in two totally different worlds because both of them in their phone. You know, I could never go for that. But, you know, social media makes a lot of chicks socially awkward. They think so highly of themselves because of these notifications that they get all the time. and they just think a guy is supposed to worship the ground that they walk on and all this shit, and they want the perfect man, but don't even know how to engage with the perfect man when they get in his face, because they get uncomfortable when this ain't in their face. A lot of chicks get uncomfortable when you like, challenge them to put this down for a minute and just get me right here. Let's lock in. Let's get to know each other. We right here in front of each other. Whatever you looking for on here is right here in front of you. Damn, what the fuck? Whatever you looking for on your phone is right here in front of you. You don't need to look any further. I'm right here. But when a guy is face to face with a chick, whether they having drinks or dinner or whatever it is, he not giving her the notifications that she need to feel important, right? So, again, like I said, she's socially awkward. And, that's like, that has to be the worst thing when you really just stop and think about what that is. When you just stop and think about how you became that way. It got to be terrible. It got to be terrible to know that you can't even sit down with somebody and have a decent conversation without your phone being in your face, or because your phone is in your face. You can't even have a decent conversation with this person. It's crazy. So, with that being said, what a lot of chicks need to do is, the same thing a lot of guys are advised to do. Because, a lot of guys are advised to, talk to different women to get out of their social awkwardness. Talk to 5 different women today that you don't know, just strike up a conversation with them. Or not even just women, just strangers. Might not even be a chick that you're trying to holler at, but just get used to striking up conversations with strangers, right? So you'll get past that social awkwardness. But a lot of the females need to do that same thing. A lot of chicks need to practice, talking to strangers. A lot of chicks are standoffish because they know they probably don't know that they socially awkward, but they are. But what it is, they socially awkward because they're uncomfortable around people, uncomfortable around strangers. So, to get beyond that, practice talking to different people. That's one good thing about people that have sales jobs. They even, you might have some people that started off in a sales job as socially awkward, but you start to understand real quick, if you got a sales job, if you want to be successful with this job, you can't be socially awkward. You can't be uncomfortable talking to strangers. So, that's one thing that's good for people that have a sales job. Some chicks probably need that. Not even so much for it to be a career for them. I mean, it could be if they end up becoming good at it or whatever, but just for the sake of getting past that social awkwardness. But even if it ain't nothing to do with your job description or whatever the case, just be cool with striking up conversations with people. The gym is a good place for that. And not even necessarily getting at people, but just striking up conversations with people. Me, myself, I don't really get at chicks in the gym, like on some holler type shit. But, I talk to people in the gym, especially gyms that I go to on a regular basis, where it's familiar faces, people that you see in there every day. Eventually you start talking to different ones and getting cool with people at the gym and shit like that. You might spot somebody on a workout or, whatever the case may be. But females, a lot of females go to the gym and probably don't know what they want to do. That's a good way to break the ice and start conversations with people. Ask people for advice or ask somebody to help you with something. Most people in the gym tend to have like a positive attitude and are, approachable and things like that. A lot of people in the gym, not everybody, some people be assholes, but a lot of people in the gym, at least my experience, tend to be cool. Even the ones that look mean, like me, I look mean in the gym. When I be in the gym, I be having a serious ass face, and people be thinking I'm mad all the time and shit like that. But if you come and talk to me, you'll realize that I'm the total opposite of what you expected. Right? And at the same time, that's one thing about the pimping, we used to rejection. So, rejection doesn't scare me. So I don't mind talking to strangers or having a conversation with strangers, striking up conversations with them, because if they reject me one way or another, that don't faze me, because I'm kind of immune to rejection at this point. Rejection don't faze me. The worst thing somebody could do is decline you or tell you no or whatever the case may be. Rejection ain't never killed nobody. Unless that somebody, took their own life as a result of rejection, which is something totally different. But the rejection itself ain't never hurt nobody. So, it's okay to, deal with that. But the more you interact with strangers, the more comfortable you become with talking to strangers, the less socially awkward you'll become. So then when you meet the right type of guy that you're supposed to be with, you'll be able to engage with him the right way. Right? And then another thing, right, this is another reason why a lot of chicks have a problem finding the right guy. A lot, especially when you're young, you be taking men for granted. You be thinking you're going to be hot shit forever. And all you got to do is pay attention to, certain older women that you might know and certain celebrity women. It's a lot of older celebrity women that don't have kids, never started a family, and now are, older and by themselves and, can't find the right man. And see, what I want you to understand is that a lot of these women to whom that applies were the same types that when they was young, they felt like they was hot shit and they just took dudes for granted and was using dudes like doormats, using dudes like Kleenexes, and, just treating them like they was disposable. And see, you in your prime when you're young, as a woman, when you're younger and you're attractive and you got dudes that want you, that's when you in your prime. But see, what you got to understand is you ain't always going to be in your prime. And then that's another thing too. Like, women try to hold themselves to the same standards of men as men do. And what you got to understand is, see, a man is always going to be able to get a young woman. Right? But a woman ain't always going to be able to get a young man. You probably think it's a fucked up double standard, or, you should be able to do the same things that men do and all this shit, but that's not reality. The reality is that as a woman, when you get older, your options get slimmer. Your options start to narrow down. It ain't necessarily like that for men. Right? Now, don't get it twisted. If you're an older woman that keeps herself up and looks good, you're going to still probably have dudes that want to get in your pants, but you're going to have less men that take you seriously and want you to actually want to build something with you. Right? So when you younger, those is the prime time years where, a dude is more inclined and more interested in wanting to build something with you. Right? Because, a man with some sense, or a man that uses his mind, if he sees you older and still holding yourself together. You still look good, got your shit together, shit like that. But you don't have any kids. You never even endeavored to try to have a family, or at least it appears that way. And it's not because of some health reasons. If it's health reasons why you ain't got no kids, that's different. But if it's just because you just chose not to have kids, or you didn't make an effort to have kids and start a family and mean something to somebody, you know, a lot of dudes is gonna question that. You know, especially dudes that got their shit together and got shit going on for themselves. They gonna wonder to themselves like, damn, I mean, she fine, but she 55 years old and she ain't had no kids, and she ain't even had no miscarriages or nothing. Like, she ain't never tried to have no kids, you know, and she was perfectly healthy when she was young. She could have had kids, but she just chose not to. You know, he gonna wonder why that is. And then, like, why you never had like a serious, like, you 55 years old, you look good, but you never had like a serious long-term relationship. At 55 years old, the longest relationship you done had was probably like a year and a half or 2 years or something like that. You ain't never locked in with nobody. You know, and see what's gonna be a red flag to a man in that case is because you learn a lot about yourself when you in a long-term relationship with somebody. Whether it's a square relationship, pimp and hoe relationship, whatever. I know I learned a lot about myself from the females that I had for years. I learned a lot about myself from those types of chicks. You know, and there's something to be said about a pimp with a good keep hand. And on the same token, even for a square, it's something good to be said about, you know, somebody who done been in a relationship for years with somebody. You know, because a lot of people can't do it, haven't done it, and, you know, must just not be built for it. But yeah, I say all that to say, you know, when you in your younger years and you in your prime, you can't take the options that you got for granted. You know, you gotta that's if you want to build something with somebody. If you're trying to find a man that you want to build something with, you can't just take him for granted. And another thing within that, and with these notifications, see, when you young and attractive and you look good on social media, like I said, you're going to have all these dudes giving you all these notifications and shit like that, right? So you got a lot of options. And as a woman, what you just got to understand this, right? This is the realest shit. When you have too many options and you have too many choices, 9 times out of 10, you're going to make the wrong choice, especially if you don't know what you want. You don't understand yourself, and therefore you don't know what you want, and you got all these choices in front of you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to make the wrong choice. You have a much better chance at making the right choice when you have less choices in front of you. If you have 20 men to choose from, you have a higher likelihood of making the wrong choice as opposed to if you have 3 men to choose from. If you got 3 men to choose from, you're more inclined to make a much better choice. When you got too many choices to choose from, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna make the wrong choice. You know, and see, part of that is not even your fault as a woman, right? Because in America, when it comes to almost everything, we have too many choices. And so we're programmed to kind of expect to have too many choices. We're programmed to be used to having too many choices, but that's not good for us as human beings. But it's just the reality of America. When you go to the store, if you go to Walmart or something like that, and you go to get a toothbrush, It's 50 different toothbrushes to choose from. And you might not even know which is the best toothbrush because it's so many damn toothbrushes to choose from. Toothpaste. It's so many toothpastes to choose from. Soap. It's 1,000 different soaps to choose from. You know, everything that we have a choice with, 9 times out of 10, we got too many options. We got too many things to choose from. Right? Oh, and food. I ain't gonna get too far into food because y'all know when I start talking about food, I can go on for hours. But with the food, that's the most prime example. You know, we got way too many options when it comes to food, and most of them options is terrible. So you almost inevitably gonna choose the wrong shit when it comes to food. But on that same token, it's like that when it comes to men. You know, now using food as an example, right? Like I said, in America, we got way too many terrible options when it comes to food. So 9 times out of 10, because we got so many bad options, we're going to make the wrong choice when it comes to what we put in our mouth. And a big part of the reason for that is because most of us are not intentional about what we put in our mouth. We don't care. Only thing we care about is if it tastes good or not. So we want the best tasting shit, not the shit that's best for us. So when you start to become more intentional about what you put in your mouth, your choices get more narrow. Like me, 20 years ago, I ate everything and I didn't really care about how healthy something was that I put in my mouth. Only thing I really cared about was how good the shit tastes. So I'm just eating whatever tastes the best. But, you know, it was a bunch of terrible choices. Fast forward to now, because I'm more intentional about my health and my fitness, and therefore what I put in my mouth, like I don't have the same amount of options that most of y'all have. You know, when we go to the grocery store, if you go to the grocery store with me, like I'm going to be looking at only a handful of things. You looking at everything in the whole motherfucking store. And I'm looking at shit on just one aisle because this one aisle is the only aisle that has stuff that I can put in my mouth that's healthy for me. You on every aisle trying to get everything, the best tasting shit, no matter how much sugar, how much butter, how much, seed oils and all that shit it got in it. You just going for the best tasting shit, right? So on the same token, as a woman, if you're not intentional about the type of man you want in your life, you just want a man that, quote unquote, tastes good, like some good tasting food. You want a man that look good and fit the external criteria, the superficial criteria that you have. It's gonna be a lot of bad options for you. Like, yeah, this one right here look good, this one right here look good, this one right here look good, but he's not healthy for you. This one ain't healthy for you in this way, this one ain't healthy for you in that way, this one ain't healthy for you in this way. Right? But on the same token, like with the food, as a woman, when you develop yourself and you become more intentional about what's best for you, when you become more intentional about what you want to be best for, because you've developed yourself as a woman and you don't want to just give the best of yourself to any kind of guy. So therefore, you're more intentional about what you want. Now all of these options start to narrow down. Like, oh, he smoked too much, I can't get with him. Oh, he drink too much, I can't get with him. Oh, he's sipping lean and doing all this shit, I can't get with him. Whereas before, if any of them dudes was tall and, had the body that you like and the money that you like, it wouldn't matter how much they smoked or drank or did drugs. Because they got the height, the money, and the physical attraction and all that shit. That's all that matter. But when you become more intentional, it's like, nah, he's irresponsible. I can see that. Nah, he don't have a good relationship with his family. He always on here talking about how foul his mama was to him or how foul his father was to him and how he wasn't there. Nah, that's not the guy for me. Right? So hopefully you understand, that analogy, and hopefully you can apply that good game. You dig? Listen, man, it's 131 of y'all in here, but only 72 of y'all done wipe your feet off at the door. Shame on you. Come on, man, hit that like button. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. You dig? Sharif stupid. Too late, Freeze. I already had 2 chili dogs. See, that was me 20 years ago, man. I used to love chili dogs. But see, now I just got a different outlook on food, man. And certain things I just think are for kids, man. Like I think hot dogs, chili dogs, that type of shit, that's childish to me. That shit is for kids. Hamburgers and fries, that shit is just like for kids to me, man. And really, kids shouldn't even be eating that shit because it's so unhealthy. But it just strikes me as like it's for kids, like cereal. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Just certain shit to me is just for kids, man. But me shout out these supers before we continue. Hold on. Oh shit. Hold up. Okay, there we go. eBooks, good looking with the $2 holla. No wash. Is it because they legit slow or lazy? More than likely it's because they lazy, man. It's not like that they don't have the mental capacity to properly wash dishes. They probably it's just they lazy, man. And when you lazy about something, 9 times out of 10, you're not intentional. So you just gonna do a half-ass job when it come to it. So that's really what it is. It's just laziness, man. Oh no. Perception is reality. Good looking with the $5 holla. What's up, Freeze? Do you feel being in Colombia there is a different perspective on men from women in some cases compared to many women in the US? Yeah, the culture is very different here. And like I've said before, the women for the most part, at least from what I see, the women here are a lot more feminine and a lot softer and more gentle and things like that. So naturally, because of that, I would say, yeah, they going their perspective on men is gonna be different from women's perspective on men in the US. It's just like in the US, man, there's just so much confusion. And, I don't really blame people for being the way that they are in the US because the US is just designed for people to be cutthroat. It's designed for men and women to be against each other and constantly criticizing each other and not trying to see the good in each other, not trying to see how they can come together and build and be good with each other together. The U.S. is just, the programming of it is just so fucked up. I can't really blame people for being the way that they are. But yeah, as far as here in Colombia, I would say that the women are probably more appreciative of the men here. They value the men better, from the way it seems. But yeah. Chaz Focus, good looking with the $10 holla. If you get around to it, can the P do a show on rejection? That would be a cold one. Yeah, for sure. We could do that for sure. That'll be, and you're right, that'll be a good one. Yeah, we could do that for sure in the very near future. You dig? Oh, shit. Damn. eBooks, good looking with the $2 holla. Wait, P. Oprah, Melinda Gates, don't got action at you? Hey, man, hold on, man. I don't know where you got that from, man, because Oprah and Melinda Gates, man, they definitely can holler at a pimp, man. We can make some things happen, you dig? Yeah, I don't know where you got that idea from, eBooks, man, because, yeah, especially Melinda Gates, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know how to get in Melinda Gates' ear, tell her what she want to hear and what she need to hear. You dig? Yeah, I got something to say to Melinda Gates, man. If anybody out there, You know, guy ain't type of connection with Miss Melinda Gates. You dig? Let her know there's a young gentleman, a strapping young gentleman by the name of Freeze, man. They got something to say to her, man. It ain't gonna take long, just a couple of minutes, man. I'll say something to her in her ear, and you know, it's gonna be all good. Let her know, man. Somebody let her know. Perception is reality. Good looking with the $5 holler. Normally, women that get older, no kids, and highly successful tend to have a boss bitch mindset, want to control relationships. Yeah, you're right about that. That is very common. It's a lot of that that goes on. And see, you know, they never learned how to, you know, tap all the way into their femininity. And it's okay to you know, be successful and have the boss bitch mindset and all that type of shit. But at the same time, you got to have a balance. You still got to know how to be a woman to the right man. And see, a lot of them types of chicks, man, they met the right man and didn't appreciate him and underestimated him and let him slip through their hands. And now here it is 20 and 30 years later, they thinking to themselves like, I should have stayed down. I should have did what I was supposed to do for that man. Right? It's a lot of chicks that have experienced that and are going through it right now. Healthy List, the wealthy one. I think that's how you say your name. Good looking with the $2 holler. Thumbnail game been on point. 100. Yeah, you know, I try to come with a different style of thumbnails, man. That's one thing I noticed. And I'm sure y'all noticed that shit too, man. Ever since this AI shit that became easily accessible to everybody, just about everybody got the same type of thumbnails. Like, let's just go, let me see. A lot of people got the same type of thumbnails, man. Just do this real quick.
What's going on, guys? Nick here, and in this video I want to talk about my experiences dating female sex workers. Okay, so I've dated strippers, and
Come on, man.
honestly,
Oh, shit. Come on, man. What you doing? Yeah, I try to be different from everybody else, but it seems like a lot of people, you could tell who's using AI for their thumbnails. And, you know, it's real convenient and quick and cool to use AI for your thumbnails, but you can tell who's not creative with the AI versus who all kind of going off the same little typical blueprint. See this content creator denied entry? That's an obvious, you know, AI helped him create that. This one right here, King 68, the great is a cheapskate. You know that, and it's cool, but like everybody's thumbnails like look the same. This one right here, this G Lin one, and shout out to G Lin, but like it's a nice looking thumbnail, but it just looked like everybody else's shit. And that's the thing. They look nice, but everybody's shit just look the same. It ain't too many people whose thumbnails like really stand out anymore. See, before AI was making thumbnails for people, you know, and you had to kind of be creative on your own, it was certain people's thumbnails who stood out. But now, you know, and this is a cool thumbnail. Fig flashback, evil Al Dog, the real life Debo. it's a dope looking thumbnail, but it's so many people whose thumbnails look like that. It's like when I want to find them, I don't see them. You know what I mean? But y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Ray J got his clock clean, boy. I feel so bad for him. See, this is somebody totally different. The End, whatever that is. Thumbnail look exactly the same, or it looked like it was made by the same person. It's a lot of people with thumbnails like that. Damn, former basketball player shot and killed. That's fucked up. See, look, here go another totally different person. We got kicked out. The shit look exactly the same. Like you could just, it's just so obvious who these AI thumbnails is. The font be similar, the colors schemes be similar. Like you could just tell who just told AI, this one right here, this robbed by 5 girls, 50,000 gone, Cartagena scam. That shit look exactly the same. It's a bunch of people with that same type of thumbnail. Like, it's just so many people with that same style. That one looked kind of similar. DEI ends back to segregation. That one looked kind of similar. Protect our special needs children. That one looked the same. You could just tell the AI ass thumbnails, man. But see, hold on. But see, you know, like the good thing about AI is if you're a creative person, you're going to be able to tell. Because I don't know, and then I guess because I'm the pimping, man, I'm just so good at giving instructions, man. I know how to give AI the right instructions to give me what I want, man. And I don't be satisfied with the first shot. Like, I'll tell AI to make a certain type of thumbnail for me, and then I'll look at it and be like, nah, I want to change this, I want to change that. And I'll tell AI exactly what to change, and I'm just like super specific with that shit. And like I said, I guess because, you know, I've been giving people instructions in this game for so damn long, man, I just know how to give AI the right type of instructions to make my shit look different from everybody else and stand aside. And yeah, I just, you know, I'm just a great instructor, man. What can I say? So yeah, man. Hold on. eBooks, good looking with the $5 holla. How about Russell Wilson, Ray J, Kanye types? To turn them into wifey types that feeds unrealistic expectations. Don't they get blamed too? A sucker gonna be a sucker, man. You know. And you know, suckers have always been available. They gonna keep being available. And, you know, suckers is born every minute, man. They, you know, it's never gonna be a famine in the land for suckers. Suckers is always gonna be bountiful and plentiful and readily available to be milked and played and all that type of shit. So, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be with them. And, you know, like when it come to Russell Wilson, the Sierra types, or the Ray J's, and, you know, the Kanye with the Kim Kardashian, you know, and then Kanye and Ray J, they're very different from like a Russell Wilson. Very different. You know, them dudes got a lot of issues, man. A lot of stuff going on in their head, man, that ain't right. You know, so, you know, but all of them have played the fool to the women in their lives. But, you know, I don't know. It seemed like it's working out for Russell Wilson. I know people look at Sierra's background and stuff like that, the different guys that she done been with and all that type of shit, man. But, hey, you know, it seemed like she being what he wanted her to be. So, it's going to be what it's going to be, I guess. Mike J. Womack, good looking with the $10 holla. Rejection is cool, even being ignored. I don't be tripping off of that. Some of these chicks be extra unnecessarily disrespectful. How do you deal with that? See, you just gotta see me. I don't shoot my shot at just any and everything just because something look good, you know. And especially when it comes to social media, the chicks that be disrespectful, you can kind of tell. All you got to do is pay attention, and you'll be able to discover whether or not they that type of individual. But as far as on some face-to-face type shit, then this is the thing too, right? It all depends on how you carry yourself as a man, because I've seen certain chicks be disrespectful to everybody, and then when it come to me, they got a different level of respect. Not every time, but I've seen that happen, and I've prompted that to happen before, right? And sometimes you got to just know how to, like, put a chick in their place. Or some chicks ain't even worth putting in their place. As soon as you see that they disrespectful, you just leave them alone. But then sometimes, you know, it's a time and place for everything, man. And some chicks just got to be put in their place. And as a man, you got to know how to do that in a respectful way, to where when you put her in her place, she ain't got no choice but to respect you after that. Just prime example, right? I remember my nigga Smooth, man. Shout out to my brother Smooth. Smooth had, you know, some shit going on where he was being a blessing to a lot of people, and he was helping a lot of people around him, right? And he was putting people in different roles and positioning them to make money and giving them opportunities and shit like that, right? So it was this young lady who many of y'all are familiar with, because she ended up being on one of them reality TV shows, and I ain't gonna even say what show it is, but a lot of y'all that's watching right now are familiar with who I'm talking about. But this is years before the reality TV shit, you know what I mean? But she was around Smooth and the homies and shit like that, and she just used to be super disrespectful, talking to niggas like they was bitches and just cussing people out, calling them out their name, just talking crazy, right? So when I come around, I guess she thinking that Freeze is like the rest of these niggas, not knowing that Freeze is a stomp down, stand up pimp. And Freeze, unlike these, you know, these my niggas, they my partners and shit, but they squares though, you know what I mean? They ain't accustomed to checking a bitch like I am, you know what I mean? So we at the crib, we all at Smooth's crib one day. He had a big ass condo, fly as hell, over there in the Wilshire district, right? Or not the Wilshire district, but off Wilshire Boulevard, like Wilshire and La Brea area, right? Dope ass condo over there. We all over there chilling and shit like that. And this chick who I'm talking about, she said something to me that rubbed me the wrong way. So I, you know, politely call myself checking her around, like, hey, you know, with all due respect, you know, I don't get down like that, you know, don't disrespect me. I ain't gonna disrespect you, but like what you just said to me right now, you know, I'm not with that. So she start, blood, wooty wooty woo, blood, da 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 da, blood. She just kept blooding me, right? And I'm like, listen to me. Don't talk to me like that. I'm not your blood. I'm not your cuz. Don't blood me. Don't cuz me. Don't blood me. It ain't got nothing to do with I don't have no gang affiliation. I'm not no Crip or no blood. But, you know, again, with all due respect, Don't blood me, don't cuz me. Oh, blood, wooty wooty woo, blood. She just kept on blood me, right? So, you know, I got in her face. And she was like, oh, blood, the homies is right down the street. I'll call the homies and have them come over here and do wooty 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 woo. And I said, yeah, your homies ain't right here right now though. You know what I mean? So while your homies is on the way, what you think is gonna be taking place between your homies getting here and right now? We right here right now, bitch. I'm in your face right now. And I could do whatever the fuck I want. What you think is gonna happen while your homies is on the way to come do something to me? And you sitting right here in front of me, bitch, and you done called these niggas to come do something to me. What you think finna happen right now? So when I got in her face, you know, she kind of got a little not necessarily act right, but she wasn't as tough, right? And I could just tell she wasn't used to dudes getting at her like this. She used to dudes bowing down to her and shit like that. Freeze ain't the one. So she ended up outside the apartment, right? And she was like being hella loud, talking shit. Like, you know how motherfuckers get outside and they get tough? She was doing that, right? So she went outside the apartment, like right outside the door, and she was being hella loud and disrespectful to me, right? Because she knew I wasn't going to do nothing to her outside the crib. So she went where she felt like it was safe, you know what I mean? And she talking all this shit, but like a lot of bitches make the mistake of, pay attention, fellas. She got her phone in her hand while she talking all this shit. So I ran up on her, right, and she looked hella scared. She thought I was going to do something to her. And I just snatched her phone and went back in the crib because I know if I got your phone, you coming where the phone is at. Dangerous and everything. You don't care how much danger you put yourself in. If you got to go where that phone is at, you going to go. That's what most females, right? So I snatched her phone out of her hand and went back in the crib and closed the door behind me. So she come, hurry up, open the door, come up in the crib. Give me my phone. Wooty, wooty, whoop. So I yoked her ass up, put her in a headlock and shit like that, and walked her over. I had her feet like this, you know what I mean? I put her in a headlock and walked her over to the couch and sat her ass on the couch. I'm like, look here, bitch. You gonna watch your motherfucking mouth around here. And not only is you gonna respect me, but you gonna respect every motherfucking man in this house. Bitch, you ain't no nigga. Talking to me like you ain't got no motherfucking sense. And the bitch was just like, and she was just looking up and just like, you know, and notice I didn't hit her or nothing like that, but I did get a little physical with her just to show her that, like, I'm not no bitch like you are. Like, you's a bitch. I'm not no bitch. You know what I mean? So like I said, I lifted her up, sat her down on the couch, and just was giving her the third degree. And it was funny, right? So after that, right, you know, I'd be moving around doing my shit. So I had left for like probably 2 or 3 weeks. And mind you, Smooth wasn't there. It's Smooth's apartment or condo or whatever. But when this took place, Smooth wasn't there. But Smooth heard about it. So fast forward, I come back like 2 or 3 weeks later, and Smooth was like, he was like, damn, Freeze, man. He was like, I don't know what you did to the homegirl, man, but whatever you did, ever since you did that, man, she been a totally different person. She been like a sweetheart to everybody. She ain't been talking to nobody crazy. She been like respectful to everybody. He was like, man, whatever you did, my nigga, good job. He's like, good looking out, man. I appreciate you. But for some people, that might be a kind of an extreme example. But you know, that's just an example of how you know, sometimes you got to put a chick in their place, man, especially when they being hella, like, just like overtly disrespectful. Right. And to this day, that chick who I'm talking about, that's like little sis now. You know what I mean? Me and her cool as a motherfucker. We ain't had no problem since then, and actually became tight after that. You know what I mean? Like, me and her is like hella cool now. You know what I mean? She like little sis. You know, she used to, you know, do some of my people's hair, you know, some of my students and shit like that. She used to do their hair and makeup. do photos, because she's a hella talented person. She do music, she know how to do hair, she know how to do photography, she do art. She just like a hella talented person, you know what I mean? So yeah, she like I said, she ended up becoming like little sis, man. And to this day, me and her cool as a motherfucker. But like I said, a lot of y'all know who she is. I ain't gonna say her name or nothing like that. But if I was to say her name, y'all would be like, damn, for real? You know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to her though. But that's just an example of like sometimes, like I said, man, sometimes you just gotta check a chick, and it it don't always have to be like that. I done checked certain females without laying a finger on them. Just it's just, I don't know, it's just the game in me, man. I just got that game in me, and I got manhood about me. I'm not no bitch. I'm not gonna let no bitch treat me like a bitch, and I got this game. So, when you like that, a lot of times you can command respect from a chick that don't. And see, that's what it be sometimes too, man. And I can't really fault certain females, because like the chick who I'm talking about, right? Ever since I did that with her, she ain't been like that since then. It was like a paradigm shift for her. She was like, you know what? I gotta be different. And, not to say that she just ain't never did nothing like that again, but she know who to do that with now. Before that, she probably didn't know who to do that with. But now she know who to do that with and who not to do that with. You see? And certain chicks just ain't never had a man be a man in front of them. Certain chicks are just used to guys being bitches. And that's just the truth. And that's why they be so disrespectful. But every so often it's gonna come a time, if they just keep carrying on like that, they gonna find the right nigga, and he ain't gonna go for it. And a lot of times I've been the right one, and I'm not going for it. So a lot of chicks will just assume that you're gonna be another one of those guys. But when you show them that you're not another one of those guys, guess what? It's going to be like a night and day switch. They're going to go from extremely disrespectful to extremely ladylike, extremely polite, extremely respectful. Because it's just in their nature. See, a lot of women don't even understand that about themselves. But it's just in their nature to bow down to a man and respect a man and surrender themselves to a man. It's in a female's nature. But a lot of them don't understand that though. And they don't understand it because they haven't been positioned to understand it. They haven't been prompted to understand it. They haven't been made to understand it. And, like I said, in the example that I just gave, the story I just told, I was very aggressive and a little bit physical. But you don't always have to do that, though. That's what I want you to understand. I don't want you to think that that's the way that you do it every time. No, sometimes it might call for that. Now, a lot of dudes would have went overboard, because that's what I didn't mention. She was calling me bitches and all type of shit, right? A lot of dudes, when they hear that bitch word, they just be ready to whoop a bitch ass. But it don't call for all that. I know at the end of the day, this is a female. She's no match for me physically. So let me just yoke her little ass up real quick, put some fear in her heart, a respectful fear, set her ass down and tell her what it's going to be. Because again, prime example, like I said, I give 304's instructions, I give Gemini instructions, ChatGPT instructions, and I give disrespectful bitches instructions too. You know what I mean? So that's all I did, man. I just, had to give her a respectful fear. Now I got your attention. Now you can't just talk to me any kind of way. Now I have your ear. Okay, look, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be. Right? But like I said, some chicks that don't take all of that in certain situations, it's a time and place for everything. Certain chicks that might be that way in this setting they might not be as turned up in that setting. So because they not so turned up right here, it don't take everything that it would take over here. So Over here, you can just use your mouth and just say the right things to the bitch to get her to get the picture and understand what's going on and understand how you're not going to tolerate her disrespect and understand how, you know, you need to be as a woman. You need to carry yourself like a lady, right? And, you know, like I said, me, myself, I've been that guy in plenty of cases where this chick done disrespected every dude she ever encountered before, but now coming across me, I'm that first example of what a man is going to be, you know, who ain't going to tolerate no disrespect. And now she got a whole totally different outlook. And because her outlook is different, her behavior is different. And now she knows how to be respectful to a gentleman. Right? So, but like I said, some chicks, it ain't even worth all that. But like in that case that I just gave an example of, that was somebody that I would see on a regular basis. So you not finna just see me on a regular basis and think you just gonna be able to disrespect me, call me blood this, blood that, like you a nigga and you banging on me or something, or calling me a bitch like you call all these other niggas a bitch. I'm not the one. You're not gonna do that with me. So, yeah, man, sometimes that's what it takes, man. You just gotta, again, that's another example of letting your nuts hang. Sometimes you just gotta let your nuts hang. That's all that is. I was just letting my nuts hang. You know, and when you're in the midst of letting your nuts hang, you can't just tolerate a bitch treating you like a bitch. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to let a bitch treat me like a bitch, and I'm just gonna take it and be cool with it. Hell no. So. Brother Bill, good looking with the $2 holla. Glory to God for this game. Long live Philip Brandon Gilmore. Just left. Okay, just left the gym from getting it in, huh? Dig that. Yeah, I still got to go. I wanted to go early this morning, but I didn't get up early enough at the time that I wanted to be there. So I'm going to go this evening, though, for sure. You dig? eBooks, good looking with the $2 holla. More likely to reject the game. Newbie or veteran? More likely to reject the game? It all depends, you know, but just in general, I would say the veteran is more likely to reject the game, because if it's a veteran rejecting the game, then more than likely, you know, it's been a lot of deposits made into that mindset that she has and the outlook that she has and how she views the pimping and therefore behaves with the pimping and engages with the pimping, right? A lot of veteran, quote unquote, veteran chicks in the game, you know, they be set in their ways. And how they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's not always the case, but in most cases with the veteran chicks, it be like that. It be that type of situation where they just so set in their ways that they just have a hard time, you know, seeing things differently and changing their behavior and tightening up and things like that. If they just a veteran punk, 9 times out of 10, they gonna stay a veteran punk. But on the other hand, if it's a veteran who knows how to deal with a gentleman, who has experience with a gentleman and knows how to be a lady to the right gentleman, then, you know, you'll be all right. And you got newbies, you know, turnouts in the game to be like that too. But a turnout has a better chance of changing the way that they see things if the game is presented to them the right way and, you know, presented in the way where it's appealing to them and it puts them in the right state of mind. You know, they got a better shot at changing. But perception is reality. Good looking with the $5 holla. Have you heard about customs deny even regular guys entry in Colombia just for having protection on them due to strange guys there for S tourism? Yeah, I've heard things about this, man, but see, this is my theory. I think it's deeper than that. It appears to be random. It appears that like they'll just pull a random guy to the side and deny him entry because he got too many condoms in his suitcase or he got sex toys in his suitcase. But I think it's deeper than that. This just the truth, man. And this ain't no disrespect to nobody. This is just me calling a spade, right? But if you pay attention and, you know, when it comes to the S tourism, a lot of these passport bros, not all of them, don't get it twisted, but a lot of these passport bros that you see on YouTube, content creators that consider themselves passport bros, they be weird. They just be weird dudes, man. Like, it reminded me of my father, man. I remember my pops, I had a homeboy that my pops really didn't care for, man. Pops, just from the day that he met him, Pops just didn't like him, right? And Pops was like, he told me one time, he was like, man, your homeboy, man, he's like, I don't know why, but I just don't like that boy, man. He was like, he didn't do nothing or say nothing for me to dislike him, but it's just something about him. I just don't like him, right? And I believe that's what you call discernment, right? And on the same token, when it comes to a lot of these passport bros that are content creators on YouTube, they haven't like necessarily done anything or said anything. It's just a discernment thing. It's just a vibe they give off. Like most of them are just weird. They awkward, weird ass niggas. And it makes sense why they come to these other countries, because they just have no action at the women in the States, or they just like, they just, you know, they just weird where they come from. And, you know, if you come to a place like Colombia, you know, bitches is doing $13 dates. Some of them is doing $10 dates. So it's like, if you're a weirdo where you come from and you can't really do the things that you want to do out there, and you come here, you know, you can have your way. Now, with that being said, by a lot of these dudes being weird, within them being weird, a lot of them have unsavory histories where they come from. A lot of them got shit on their name that they don't want nobody to know about. And I think that's why a lot of dudes are getting turned away. Probably not every single one, but I think a lot of the dudes that get turned away, and that part ain't being spoken about, that part ain't being said, but I think that's the case, man. A lot of these dudes probably got weird charges on their name. You know, a lot of these dudes be having weird shit in their phone with kids and all type of shit, man. So, I just think that, you know, customs, when they get here to Colombia, you know, they be picking up on certain shit, and, you know, they don't want them weird ass niggas in their country, and they end up turning their ass away. So I think that's what it is, man. It's more to it than just having condoms, because, you know, there's plenty of people that be having condoms on them that make it through with no problem. So it's more to it than simply just having what they believe is too many condoms on you. It's more to it than that. So, yeah, man. If you, and then not just the dudes on social media, but see if, and people like Worldwide Chris, he be out here, man, like in my bro Don B that was in the chat earlier, man. They know what I'm talking about, man. Like when you out here in Colombia and you go to certain areas, especially them areas where them dudes be tricking at, and you meet some of those guys and have conversations with them, a lot of them niggas is weird. They some weird ass niggas, man. Like the type of motherfuckers that you wouldn't trust around no kids and shit like that, man. Like they just be weird. And they get to come out here and, you know, have their way. But they be a lot of, not all, I'm not saying every dude that's a single man that come to Colombia is weird. No. What I am saying though is that a lot of them are weird. They some weird motherfuckers. So that's why, they getting turned away because they probably got some weird shit on their name. They done did some weird shit that they would hope don't nobody find out about. But when their name get ran and shit like that, then they get turned away. I think that's what it is for a lot of these motherfuckers, man. That part ain't being talked about, but yeah, man. And no guarantees. Good looking with the thumbs up jewel, you dig? Or the thumbs up gift. Healthy list, the wealthy one. Good looking with the flow state gift. Yeah. Shout out to the people giving the gifts, man. Suppose the Prince says Abba. Is that one of the fresh and trick niggas? No, Abba is from Abba and Preach. Man, and Abba, he's just been getting busted out left and right, man. And, you know, people are looking at Abba the way that they looking at him is because he goes so hard on the red pill dudes. He goes so hard on Fresh and Fit and, you know, different ones in the red pill community. Donovan Sharp, he be going hard on him. Probably some other ones that I can't think of right now. But, you know, basically dudes that get caught up, you know, from the red pill community, whether they get caught up messing with OnlyFans girls and, you know, prostitutes and shit like that, man, Abba be going hard on them. But come to find out, Abba be doing the same shit that a lot of them red pill dudes be doing. So that's why Abba is under fire right now because, you know, come to find out, he be doing a lot of the same shit that he be, you know, putting a magnifying glass on dudes about and really going hard on their ass. He doing the same shit. And in some cases, he might be worse than some of them dudes. So, you know, a lot of people like Dre has made well known, man. A lot of people just don't know how to be the message that they bring. A lot of people on the internet is grifters, man, and try to present themselves as something that they not. And, you know, see the difference between somebody like myself or even Sinful to P, even though he's not here no more, and even Sharp, right? Our histories are not a mystery. Andre Taylor, his history is not a mystery. See, we are people that were known in the streets and had a reputation in the streets among so many people. So that when we come to the internet, you know, we not unfamiliar to just everybody. See, a lot of these dudes was in the closet, in a closet, you know, sheltered their whole life, you know, didn't really have a presence where they was from or whatever community they come from, whatever they had going on. They wasn't really known or nothing like that. So then they could come to the internet and just fool people because their history is a mystery, right? But on the other hand, people like myself, whose history is not a mystery, you know, I couldn't come on here and try to portray myself as something that I'm not because too many people from the streets know me. Too many people cross country that have been down with me and they know what I'm about. So I can't get on here and just pretend to be, you know, something that I'm not. Too many people know me. Same thing with Sinful to P, same thing with Andre Taylor, same thing with Sharp. You know, we're people that before we got on the internet, too many people knew us. So we, you know, none of us could be able to get on the internet and just portray ourselves as something that we're not. Right? And then not just that, but none of us have the desire or the mindset to portray ourselves as something that we not because we the truth. Like we men, we the truth. You know, we come from the game. When you come from the game, man, it's just different, man. We just different types of guys coming out this game, man. So, but a lot of dudes, they try to act like they're experts in dealing with women, or they try to act like they're better than guys that mistreat women and all this type of shit. But, you know, their histories be a mystery. And that's the thing to me, man. Like, I'm going to always look at you kind of like, when your history is a mystery. Right? And a lot of these dudes are nerds that just studied the game or studied different things, different, you know, dating coaches that came before them or pickup artists and shit like that. They just studied, but they don't have no experience. Their history is a mystery, or their history just don't exist. And they get on the internet and try to portray themselves as like some wizard, all-knowing, all-telling motherfucker that know about this game, but don't know shit about this game, ain't got no experience when it comes to this game, dealing with women and things like that. So Abba might just be another one of those guys, man. You know, he's a good content creator. He gives good commentary and shit like that. He does his research and he like he's real precise when he gives his analysis on different content creators, especially the red pill guys. You know, he's real precise when it comes to that. But I don't know, his history might be a mystery too. The Silent Strategy Lab say Goldie, cough, cough. I don't know, man. You know, a lot of people don't like Goldie, man. A lot of people in the game don't like Goldie. I just got to keep it real. Me, myself, I don't really have a problem with Goldie. There's certain things that I admire about Goldie. The main thing that I admire about him is how he takes care of himself physically. You know, it's a lot of good that can be said about somebody who takes care of themselves physically. But a lot of people in the game, it's funny because a lot of people in the game claim to not like him or act like they don't like him, but then that's, again, at the same time, a lot of people in the game tune into him and familiar with all his content and shit like that. So it's a trip, man. But what I will say is, you know, Goldie is still fairly new to the internet, right? So if there is any skeletons in his closet, so to speak, it's only a matter of time before they come out, right? So if your suspicions about him have any validity to him, it's only a matter of time before, you know, the confirmation comes. It's only a matter of time. See, me, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I've been on Instagram and Facebook longer than that, talking shit, kicking game, all of that. So if I was fraudulent in who I portray myself to be, I would have been exposed a long time ago by now. Same thing with Sinful to P. You know, we'd have been exposed a long time ago by now. But on the contrary, you have a lot of people that come on social media and say, yeah, I done been down with Freeze over here. I done pimped with Freeze over there. Me and Freeze done been in this city together. Me and Freeze was in that state together. You know, so many different people, a lot of them who don't even know each other, but they all have in common that they know me. And they done been somewhere with me, and they done rubbed elbows with me. Like, it's too many people that come on social media and confirm that. So my history ain't no mystery. But a lot of these other people, their history is a mystery, man. Best believe their history is quite the mystery. You dig. Eat Books, good looking with the $5 holla. Did you give Tariq the side eye despite the Rosebud / payroll cosign when he did the Mac lessons? See, I didn't really tune in. I wasn't even, to be honest with you, I wasn't even familiar with Tariq back then. Like in real time, back when he was associated with Rosebud, and I guess that's news to me now. See, I didn't even know he was cool with payroll. But it ain't no surprise, though. But in real time when that was going on, I wasn't hip to Tariq like that. I didn't know who he was. So I hear all the time, and I think I've even heard him say out of his own mouth that, you know, he was associated with Rosebud, and I guess he was like an understudy of Rosebud at one point in time. But I didn't know about him back then. So and then like him kicking game, as far as this pimping go, like I never seen that. You know, the only Tariq that I'm familiar with is like Hidden Colors own. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about him before Hidden Colors. That's when I became familiar with who he is. And I still ain't never even seen none of the Hidden Colors, but I remember when he put them out and they was being promoted and shit like that. That's when I first became familiar with who he was. I don't know about him before that. I don't know about him being in the game or having to do with the game and all that shit. I don't know. So I can't say that I looked at him with a side eye or anything like that because I wasn't familiar with him back then. Ebook says, I mean, wasn't like the ain't in center who got his cosign from 6 foot gay guy. Yeah, see, the Saint the center, you know, he's a totally different case, man. You know, he tried to pop this Pippen and shit like that, but you know, his history ain't no mystery. We know where his history in the game begins. His history in the game begins with a 6'4" gay black dude handing him a book at 10 o'clock at night, coming and knocking on his door. You know what I mean? That's where his history begins. So we familiar with the Saint the center. His history ain't no mystery either. His history is just questionable. You know what I mean? His history ain't no mystery, unlike most of these dudes, man. See, you can't say you can't say that you don't know where Saint the center come from. We know where he come from, man. His mentor in the game, the motherfucker that laced him, is a 6'4" gay black dude that came to his door at 10 o'clock at night to hand him a book. That's his introduction to the game. So his history ain't no mystery now, man. You gotta at least put that much respect on the Saint the center, man. You gotta admit that you know his history ain't no mystery. You know what I mean? We know where it begins with him. These other guys, their history is a mystery, you know. Oh, Ebook says, Freeze, he beefed with Payroll and had an epic roast. Oh, see, I didn't know that. Flex fell out with Gay Roll the simp, he called him. Yeah, see, like I said, I don't know nothing about any of that. I wasn't familiar with him back then. Game Oriented says, I don't fuck with Goldie, you know. One of his videos, I think one of his fans asked him, was he a pimp? And he talked negatively about the pimping. How about you, the game? But you're talking bad about it? How are you the game, but you're talking bad about it? Yeah, see, like, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't really watch his content like that, so I don't know. But, you know, some people, man, they just, and I don't know about Goldie in particular, but some people, they just tell people what they believe people want to hear, even when a lot of the things they say is contradictory, and they contradict themselves on a regular basis. You know, some people just, you know, they just tell people what they think they think people want to hear. And I don't know, he might be doing that. Supposed the Prince say, no, Goldie not this. Like I said, when I saw the two white girls on leashes and the girlfriend walking beside him, not on a leash, that's when I knew. Now, I can't front. I did see that video where he was walking and it looked like he was in Brickell or something, but he was in Miami. and he had the two young ladies on the leash walking down the street with these chicks on the leash. I did see that. And yeah, that was kind of peculiar to me. That was kind of odd. But hey, like I said, if people's suspicions of him are true, then it's only a matter of time before the confirmation comes. You dig? Ebook says, I had a lot of respect for his newfound wokeness, but a lot of people here in the D know him here. Oh, okay. Game Oriented says, man, y'all brutal on Goldie in these comments, man. Game Oriented says he's just a fly ass trick that didn't got some game. That didn't got some game and paid a couple of pimps, just like what some of the rappers do. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all say it, man, because y'all know better than me. Because like I said, I don't really watch his shit. I went live with him one time, but that was only the roast. The GOAT, as he called himself. I don't even like saying his name, but yeah, I went live with Goldie that one time, Goldie and Sharp, just to roast the GOAT. You know what I mean? Because the GOAT kept talking about me. The GOAT kept saying my name and shit like that. So I went on there to roast him, and it just so happened to be on Goldie's live on Instagram. But that's the only time I've ever interacted with him. I never met him. And then, like I said, I don't really watch a lot of his content. Of course, y'all know when he had Selena Powell on there, I did a review on that. But beyond that, like, I don't really know a lot about him, and I don't really watch his shit like that. So I can't really say anything good or bad. He said paying for promo to look like the pimping isn't tricking. That's when I was done. Damn. He paid those girls to do that. He said so. Huh. Yeah, that's a little strange, man. But Goldie is Ken and Boss Hog Macaroni student. I know they ashamed. I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself, man, because I'll just say this, man. Some people admire certain individuals when it comes to this game, man, and some people just know how to make shit look good and sound good, man. But it ain't what it appears to be, man. And yeah, certain people been around a long time, man, and it just I'm gonna just keep my opinions to myself, man. Oh man. The Bell, good looking with the $5 holla. It's funny how these fake P's and game experts / relationship gurus have no P partners, and they're not even known in their hometown. That's very strange, for real. Yeah, the Bell, that's strange. That's why I say, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of dudes, they take advantage of the fact that their history is a mystery. Because their history is a mystery and nobody knows who they are, they can get on the internet and just portray themselves as whatever they want to be. But like I said, my history ain't no mystery. You know what I mean? The Bell is somebody who been knowing me since before I got on the internet. You know what I mean? Like I said, my history is not a mystery. It's too many people that know who I am before I get on the internet. So I couldn't get on here and try to portray myself as somebody that I'm not. But yeah. Ashley Banks says, Freeze, you should review the three-way argument between him, Sharp, and Johnny Cash. Wait, are you saying between Goldie, Sharp, and Johnny Cash? Because that might be the same, maybe not the same exact live, but that was the same day that I got on there. Because when I got on Goldie's live, that's when Sharp and, you know, the GOAT, Sharp and the GOAT was on there, you know what I mean? And I had to roast the shit out the GOAT because he kept saying my damn name. He wouldn't keep my name out his mouth, so I had to get on there and roast the shit out his ass. Even though I didn't really want to, but people wouldn't leave me alone because he kept saying my damn name. So people kept on hitting me up like, man, Freeze, man, the GOAT on there talking about you, man. He on there, he keeps saying this about you, he's saying that about you. Woody, 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 whoop. And people just wouldn't leave me alone about that shit. So finally I got on there. But what you saying, Ashley Banks, I don't know if that's the same. Okay, yeah, please. Yes. Okay. And see, I never really, I know they was all on there live together before I came on there that day, but I didn't really watch what was on there before me. You know what I mean? And where is that live? Is it still on Goldie's Instagram page or is it on YouTube somewhere? Did somebody repost it? Like, I don't know where it is. Rain Your Band says, Freeze, you ever cross paths with a P named Trezo out that 206? He passed away a couple days ago. Just wondering because he was a cool cat. Damn, that's unfortunate, man. Sorry to hear that he passed away, but I'm not sure. That name don't necessarily ring a bell, but a lot of people, I'll be knowing them by their face if I don't know them by their name. But I'm not sure. I can't say that I have or have not. I'm not sure. But that's unfortunate that he passed away. May the Most High have mercy on him. I forgot you was in there too. Yeah, man, I roasted the shit out of the GOAT that day, man. I roasted the dog shit out the GOAT that day, man. He just wouldn't leave me alone. He kept asking for it, man, so I had to flame his ass down. Yeah, but like I said, I didn't watch none of the shit that before I got on there, so I don't know what they was talking about. But I guess they had a three-way argument, like you said. I didn't even know. Yeah, that's Content Freeze. Yeah, I'll check it out if I can find out where it's at. Game Oriented says when he had those white bras in downtown Miami, like it was 1975, made me look at it as crazy. Or I guess you meant to say made me look at him crazy. Yeah, that was a little odd. I must say that was quite odd. They still talked for 2 more hours after that. Oh, after I was on there, they was still on there for another 2 hours. I didn't know that. Like, all I know about is when I was on there myself. Because like I said, the GOAT kept on talking about me, man. He's such the GOAT, but he just couldn't keep my name out his mouth. So I went on there to flame his ass down one time. But I don't know where it's at, but it's definitely on YouTube. Okay, it's on YouTube. Because I know my part is on YouTube. Somebody reposted when I roasted his ass. That's on YouTube somewhere. Matter of fact, let's have some fun, man. Hold on, let me find that. Hold on. I think I found it. Hold on. Wait. Okay, that's older. Oh yeah, here we go. Hold on. Oh shit, hold on. Here we go. And man, y'all wipe y'all feet off at the dope when you step into a pimp's domain if you have not already, man. So this is part of the live that Ashley Banks is talking about. This is the part where I was on there and you know, like I said, I'm not familiar with the parts before because they was on live like all day that day. I'm not familiar with the part before I was on there or after I was on there, but this is when I was on there. Sharp was on here at a certain point in time too, but not this particular point. And I don't even think this is the whole thing, but this is a good portion of it, but hold on.
King Sean said, man, I know you gave the man more than $200. He came in the house and gave me dollars of the money that I gave you.
No.
Call all boss a lie too, then. All boss said Johnny Cash and y'all.
I'm not calling him a lie. I'm just telling you what I did. And what I know.
He came in the house and gave me $300.
Okay. I mean, you out here talking about you interrupted my day. You interrupted my day.
Just ask me, go, did you just text me or did you just not text me and ask me to come up?
Yeah. He asked you to stay up here with me. You wouldn't do that.
Hey, man, check this out right here, man. Check this out right here. Like I say, I ain't got to talk about yesterday's stories and none of that shit. Everybody know what it is with me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm still having motion, big motion, nigga. I love myself, nigga. You on the motherfucker. You understand me? Yeah, you see,
yeah, but I inspired you to drink water, though. Yeah, you got that from me, though. You got that from me, though.
Nothing, nigga. Yeah, you inspired me to do a whole lot, not to be a sucker. That's what you inspired me to do, nigga. Not
right.
Fake,
but it ain't working, though. It ain't working, though, because you still a sucker. You saying I inspired you to stop being a sucker, but you still doing it. You know what I mean? You still doing it.
You went from being my biggest fan to my biggest
fan.
Man,
I don't even think about you. How I'm a hater of you. I don't even think about you.
You ain't got no replica hoes that can vouch for you.
Spell that. You said what? I ain't got no what? You said I got no what?
Yeah,
spell that. Spell what you just said.
Right here, nigga.
No, I want
can hear
you to spell check out what you just said.
I hear what y'all hear.
No, I don't know what
audio.
But I want you to spell check out what you just said. Yeah, spell check what you just said. You said I ain't got no replica hoes. Spell that.
Talk about last night. Though.
Hold on, man, because it's just starting to get good, man. Hold on. Damn. I'm going to start it over. Hold on. Hopefully it'll be better now. Let me put my headphones in so I can hear it better myself. Okay, I'm going to just play it not in the full screen because I think the full screen is probably why I'd be tripping, but hold on. Let's start this again.
Said, man, I know you gave the man more than $200. He came in the house and gave me dollars of the money that I gave you.
No.
Call all boss a lie too, then. All boss said Johnny Cash and y'all.
I'm not calling him a lie. I'm just telling you what I did.
He said,
and what I know.
He came in the house and gave me $300.
Okay, congratulations, man. You gave your favorite pimp a jug, man. You happy now? I acknowledge that before the world, man. You gave your favorite pimp a jug, man.
Favorite pimp, man. I don't think nothing of your pimping, man.
I mean, you out here talking about me. You interrupted my day. You interrupted my day. I was over here enjoying my life. And look at you. Look at how much I ain't getting up there with Freeze. No, I ain't getting up there with Freeze. But you look at how much of a cloud chaser you is.
God just asked me, Golden, did you just text me or did you just not text me and ask me to come up?
Yeah. He asked you to stay up here with me. You wouldn't do that.
Hey, man, check this out right here, man. Check this out right here. Like I say, I ain't got to talk about yesterday's stories and none of that shit. Everybody know what it is with me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm still having motion, big motion, nigga. And I love myself, nigga. You ain't on the motherfucker drinking water, nigga. You know, you ain't on the motherfucker drinking water to take care of yourself, nigga. You understand me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, but I inspired you to drink water, though. Yeah, you got that from me, though. that from me, though.
Nothing, nigga. Yeah, you inspired me to do a whole lot, not to be a sucker. That's what you inspired me to do, nigga. Not to be a sucker. Fake, nigga.
But it ain't working, though. It ain't working, though, because you still a sucker. You saying I inspired you to stop being a sucker, but you still doing it. You know what I mean? You still doing it.
You went from being my biggest fan to my biggest fan.
I don't
you ain't got no
even think about you. How I'm a hater of you, I don't even think about you.
You ain't got no replica hoes that can vouch for you.
Replica? Wait, spell that. You said what? I ain't got no what? You said I ain't got no what? Spell that. Spell what you just said.
Check this out right here, nigga.
No, I want you to spell check out what you just said. No, I don't know what. Never met him, but I want you to spell check out what you just said. Yeah, spell check what you just said. You said I ain't got no replica hoes. Spell that.
Talk about last night. About last night, though.
Man,
about last night.
If you don't knock it off, man, stop that. Come on, man. Hey, come on, man. I know you. I know you, man. Come on, man.
Check this out right here, though. See, this is the kind of shit this sucker can't show.
Okay, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Okay, there you go. Okay, cool.
This is the kind of shit this sucker can't show right here. You dig what I'm saying?
Man, hey, listen, man. See, listen. Let me not allow you to disrespect your own legacy. Let me not allow you to disrespect your own legacy, man. You showing that old ass cheap ass Maserati. You're known for doing bigger and better things than that, man. Remember who you are, man. I mean, you're a buster, a liar, a sucker, and all that. But you could do better than that. You could do better than that.
He can't show this kind of shit, dog.
You can do better than that. Yeah, and you can't show your cholesterol. You can't show your blood pressure. You can't show some clothes that fit your body right. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shit that you can't show. But we not on here talking about what we can't show though. You know what I mean? No, we're not gonna check out nothing until you check that word that you said that you can't spell. Replica hoe. You know what I mean? Nah, man. Nah. I can't let you get up here and disrespect yourself. You know what I mean? Hey, please tell me that's your wife's car that you just showed.
Hey, you should.
Please tell me that's your wife's car. Is that your wife's car? I hope it is. I hope it is. Because I know your wife done rolled better than that in the past. But hey, man, the game got ups and downs and shit. You know what I mean? Hey, it's cool. You know what I mean? Just like your marriage license is paid for. You know what I mean? Hey, can I have action at that? Hold on. Can I sweat the bitch? Excuse me. Can I sweat your wife? Yeah, I do. You're right. I want to sweat your wife though. I want your wife to hear what I got to say. Hey, listen. No, I just want to sweat her. Hey, you can sweat mine. Hey, I got some hoes for you to sweat. Hey, listen. I'm going to set my hoes down. You going to set your wife down. And
hey, for the money of the record, I'm not in the game, nigga. I've been out the game.
Okay.
You talking.
I just said your wife. I'm in the game. Hey, but can I sweat your wife, though? You said about last night. I want to talk to your wife about last night.
Thing to say to a real hoe, nigga. Because you was a sucker. You wouldn't know the
How do you know? How do you know if your wife won't, if you won't give me action at your wife? How you know what I got to say?
Same room, same car, in a McDonald's bathroom with this bitch, and you couldn't have
Let's go.
Yeah,
let's
nigga,
go.
You know what's gonna happen? You gonna come up.
She even keep the ring on when I'm sweating her. Listen, she can keep the wedding ring on while I'm sweating her, man. You know what I mean?
Because you's a sucker.
You got the registration in your back pocket, though. That's why I know you ain't gonna let me sweat her. Yeah, even if I do knock you for the wife, she's registered in your name. She registered in your name, man. It ain't fair. You ain't even playing fair, man. Man, if you don't knock it off.
Yeah, nigga. She gonna treat you like a trick you is, nigga. You's a trick, nigga.
That's funny coming from somebody that's built exactly like a trick. Hey, listen, man. You look just like a motherfucker that hoe got in the car with last night, man. You know what I mean? You look just like a motherfucker that I seen the bitch get in the car with last night. And go around the corner to the alley and do a date, man.
I know, nigga.
You don't knock it off?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, hey, free, like I said, my nigga. I'm out.
Yeah, that's why you go get man units, and that's why you show. That's why you go get man weaves. You show your wife pictures of me with my shirt off. Why your wife know what my body look like though?
I don't get in trick and hoe business, nigga. Don't ask me about that. I don't get in trick.
No, you the one showed your wife pictures of me though, with my shirt off. You showed your wife pictures of me and said, baby, this is how I want to be built. Hey, man, your wife, I already know. When you showed your wife a picture of me with my shirt off, I already know she looked at you like, this nigga crazy.
Come on, man.
Oh, shit. Your wife look at you like, yeah, baby, keep on dreaming, baby. Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming, baby.
Your mic low, Johnny.
This nigga funny. He funny. This nigga funny.
Yeah, I'm real funny and I'm pivot and I got game and all that, nigga.
Yeah. Check this out right here, though.
Yeah,
I'm going to end this live like this right here. The same
yeah,
thing
get your sucker ass up off here, nigga.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You about to stand
Talk about you gonna fight me. You gonna fight me, though?
I ain't gonna
you gonna fight me?
Head, nigga. I don't want to catch AIDS.
Just said you gonna fight me, though.
I ain't gonna touch your hair.
You said you gonna punch me.
I'm gonna bust your mouth open. I don't want AIDS.
Nigga, shut up, nigga. If I stick a needle in your ass right now, you gonna bleed you-hoo, nigga. You don't shut your fat sloppy ass up, nigga. If you don't shut your Nestle quick blood having ass up, nigga. Nigga, I stay posting my test results, nigga. You go get tested, though. When the last time, I know you can't fit your arm inside that machine at Walmart. You know how you go to the pharmacy at Walmart, you stick your arm in, get your blood pressure checked. I know your big ass arm won't fit in that motherfucker. But when the last time you went to the doctor and got your blood pressure checked? When the last time you got your cholesterol checked? You know what I mean?
All my shit good, nigga. I promise you, nigga.
I don't believe.
I
don't believe.
You gonna feel it, though.
Why you want me to feel it, man? I don't want to feel it. I don't like the way that sounds. I don't want to feel nothing from you, man.
Can there be no mediation to this situation here?
Like I said, none. Because he's a sucker. And that's all he do is lie.
Y'all can disagree to disagree and leave it there.
Fuck, dude. You fake. Yeah.
But you went and got the Jermaine Jackson hairstyle put on your head, nigga. But I'm fake.
Nigga, take them Carlton ass suits off, nigga. You don't even own a pair of Gators, nigga. You don't even own designer.
Nigga, I already know when you go to the tailor, when your ass go to the tailor look at your ass like,
you can't afford it.
This nigga, man, goddamn. Got a tailor clothes to this fucked up ass body again. Goddamn, tired of tailoring clothes to this so slimer built ass nigga, man. Tired of tailoring me.
And let me clear that up, Gold. I said I've had bitches that then gave me money that I haven't touched. That's what I said, nigga. But you want to blow that out of context because you was a comedian, nigga. Every hoe ain't to be fucked. Every bitch that come through your household, you ain't got to put dick in her, man.
Nah, but don't try to make it seem like pimps don't fuck hoes.
Yeah,
that's
nigga,
you.
Fucking
Cause I fuck hoes.
Underage bitch. I know.
Right.
I know.
Right.
I know. You stuck your dick in that 16-year-old bitch. Them your words.
Right.
You did that,
right.
Nigga. Yeah,
right, and
so
I'm still here. And I'm still here.
That makes you a
right,
pedophile,
I'm still here.
Nigga.
No, that don't. You can't even spell pedophile. You can't spell rickable. You can't spell rickable or whatever you say, so you definitely can't spell pedophile. You shouldn't even say words that you can't spell, though.
I love it, because you know what, Gold? I'm going to kill these niggas.
Shouldn't even.
I don't owe a sucker no explanation.
You did it for That's why you got on here. Because you seen me running the numbers up to where you can't get them. That's why you on here.
I don't give a
you
fuck
need
about
me.
No numbers, nigga.
You need, yes, you do.
I haven't received $1 off
man, you give a fuck about putting man weaves in your head.
Yeah,
see, hold on, man.
Okay, yeah.
You just on here talking, man. Hold on, man. Yeah, you on here talking.
I know.
You on here talking, nigga. You know what I mean? Hold on. You better hope I can't find this shit, nigga.
Yeah, fine.
You know what I mean? Because you on here talking, nigga.
Fine. You got pictures of me in your phone. You got pictures of me in your phone.
Talking, nigga.
You got pictures of me in your phone. You got pictures of me
but the internet, dude. The internet got pictures of you.
You hear this weird ass nigga, man? You got pictures of me.
No, the internet got pictures of you.
Weird ass nigga got pictures of Johnny Cash in his phone.
Real quick, Johnny. Ken wanted to say what's up. He didn't know you was on here. He said that's my nigga.
Ken, what's up, baby? Top of the world to you, man.
What's up, baby?
Man, nothing but some more and some more. Hey, Ken. Hey, man. What our history? How far our history go back, Ken?
Don't try to drag Kenny.
No, I'm just asking him a question.
Hey, man. Hey, Johnny, man. I fuck with you. I fuck with Freeze, man. Hey, man. Happy pimping, man. I was just speaking to y'all.
Okay. How you doing, sir? Top of the world.
I'm all right, man. But, you know, hey, man, you go back like apples and picks, man.
Okay. See that? Okay.
Hey, man. And I'm pretty sure that if we was able to talk to Michael Jackson or Prince or somebody like that, they got fans that they go back with, too. Nigga, you ain't saying nothing. Nigga, just because you a Ken fan and you got his autograph 20 years ago, nigga, that shit don't mean nothing.
That me and this man, we friends, nigga. We not associates,
yeah,
we are pimp friends.
I got fans that I call friends too, man. I got fans that I call friends too, man.
I wish I could do this with you all night. I'm about to come to this podcast, but I appreciate both of y'all Freeze coming on. Cash, you know,
Shout out to
love
Young
always.
Golden, man. It ain't nothing but love, man. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. Stay sucker ducking and dumb and dodging, because it's at an all-time high, man. This boy's a certified.
Respect to both of y'all. Respect Freeze. Respect Johnny. Shit, I'm gonna get at y'all. I gotta get on.
My biggest fan to my.
You wanna?
Sharp, I appreciate you for tuning in, baby. We're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to come back and do it all again, us three. Hey, man, it ain't nothing but love. I said what I said. Y'all follow the YouTube, Johnny Cash to Go, for part 2.
All right.
Shush.
And I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna get on the. We gonna get on the phone.
Bet.
All right.
1. All right, Sharp.
All right, now, little boy.
Bet.
Okay. I'm about to add freezing. I'm about to add freezing.
Yeah, where? Because
He right here. He right here. He right here. He right here. I had to let Johnny get it off. He told me from the
we got a hell of a run.
Cause
You got to
right.
play
If they would have got on, they would have been arguing. We wouldn't even be there and heard nothing.
You got to play a little bit more sound. Like, when it's up, it's up. Let that shit go back. Let it do what it's going to do.
That's why I said I'm gonna let him speak his piece, but I said I'm gonna let Freeze speak his piece if he want to. You know.
Control the narrative. I wouldn't have been mad at Freeze.
I ain't finna say nothing because it ain't my beef. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him speak. But you know how to do it. Tell me. You know, show me.
I'm going to tell you all.
Hold on. Freeze supposed to be on here.
Let Freeze do his shit.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you.
What's going on, Freeze?
What's up with it, man? Hey, this was funny, right? Hey, man. My day,
man.
Yeah, but you know, first of all, Goldie, I just want to got no issue with you. The way that you,
shit is tripping.
point, I respect that, right? But, you know, it's real easy for a motherfucker to get on here and say shit, you know, and, you know, do the things that they do. But a lot of people don't really know that guy. You know what I mean? I haven't known him as long as some other people have known him, but I've been around him enough, and I got certain experiences with him enough to really know that guy. You know what I mean? And what I do know is that, you know, he's proven time and time again that he will get on this internet and literally say anything. You know what I mean? Like, if for the record, man, personally, man, I don't trust niggas to get man units on their head, man.
Let me see if it corrects itself. That is some bullshit. Okay, we back. Y'all can see me and y'all can hear me now. My bad, man. It's saying that my memory is full. I got a clear memory on my laptop, man. I got too much shit on here. So that's why it was tripping just now, man. But damn. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Straight nonsense. Hold on, let me see, man. Let me do this. Hold on. Hold up. Let me see something right quick. Yeah, it was just at least y'all got to see the first part of the roasting. Well, that wasn't really the first part. The part that y'all just was watching was the first part. But y'all got to see a good portion of the real roasting though. Oh man, funny as a motherfucker. Hold up, let me see something. I didn't even think it was gonna let me come back, man, because everything had froze on me, and I thought I was gonna have to reboot everything, but fortunately, it was able to keep the live going. Exposing the Truth says, you ever gonna do some collaboration lives? Yeah, I'd be down to do that. It's a few people that I would do something with. You know, a lot of people that, you know, I don't really know much about, man. So I don't really trust going live with just any and everybody, man. It's a few people that I would though. It's a few people I would go live with, do a collaboration with. Hold on a second. Oh, Freeze, would you ever do a live with God's Gift? That would be a good one. Of course, that's my family, so yeah, of course. Dre Day 3K say, I'm 63 in July. Do you think it's too late for me to get into the game and start mashing? Yeah, man, go ahead, chalk that one on up, man. Let that go. Let that one go, man. Don't even entertain that one, man. Let it go, man. Let me see if this is going to work. I'm testing it right now, man. Let me see if it's going to work. Okay, let's try it one more time. Now, see, this is when he got off because he knew I was getting ready to come on. And he just kept talking about me. But, you know, that's what people do, man. They try to make it seem like a motherfucker just want to come on there and talk about them. But, no, the only reason why I came on here is because he just kept talking about me. And then when I came into the live and let it be known that I wanted to join, he ran. But then when he seen I ran the numbers up even higher, then he wanted to come and join. You see what I'm saying?
You gonna do the part 2 on yours?
Thank you for having me,
platform. You know, I'm just, you wanted to get it off.
Hey, man.
You got it off. You know what I'm saying?
It is. That's what it is. I appreciate you. Sharp, I appreciate you for tuning in, baby. We're going to have to do something. We're going to have to come back and do it all again, us three. Hey, man, it ain't nothing but love. I said what I said. Y'all follow the YouTube, Johnny Cash to go for part 2.
All right. Shush. And I'm going to holler at you. We're going to get on the phone.
Bet.
All right.
One. All right, Sharp.
All right, now, little boy.
Bet.
Okay.
No
I'm about to add freezing. I'm about to add freezing.
Yeah, where? Because
He right here. He right here. He right here. I had to let Johnny get it off.
Johnny
He told me from the
got a hell of a run.
Cause
You got
right? If they would have on, they would have been arguing. We wouldn't even heard nothing.
A little bit more sound. Like when it's up, it's up. Let that shit go back. Let it do what it's gonna do.
That's why I said I'm gonna let him speak his piece, but I said I'm gonna let Free speak his piece if he wants to. You know?
Control the narrative. I wouldn't have been that free.
I ain't finna say nothing because it ain't my beef. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting him speak. But you know how to do it. Tell me, show me.
I'm gonna tell you all.
Hold on. Freeze supposed to be on here.
Let Freeze do his shit.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you.
What's going on, Freeze?
What's up with it, man? Hey, this is funny, right? Hey, man. My day been,
man.
Yeah, but you know, first of all, Goldie, I just want I got no issue with you. The way that
Damn, this shit tripping.
the way that you
Let me see if I let it load a little bit, man, if it'll be better, man. Give me just a second, man. And again, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button, man. Trying to get this shit to play smoothly. I don't know if it's Simone or Simon on the microphone. Wait, this is all in real time? Yeah, we live right now, man. I'm replaying this live from Instagram from a couple years ago, but far as us, we in here live right now, man. Live directing in full effect. You dig?
That point, I respect that, right? But you know, it's real easy for a motherfucker to get on here and say shit, you know, and you know, do the things that they do. But a lot of people don't really know that guy. You know what I mean? I haven't known him as long as some other people have known him, but I've been around him enough, and I got certain experiences with him enough to really know that guy. You know what I mean? And what I do know is that, you know, he's proven time and time again that he will get on this internet and literally say anything. You know what I mean? Like, if for the record, man, personally, man, I don't trust niggas to get man units on their head, man. I don't trust niggas that fly across country and get man weaves installed in their head, man, in their 40s, having midlife crises and shit, man. That's just me, though. I don't trust motherfuckers that do that. But listen, man, you know, again, motherfuckers get on here and say whatever they want. And me, I don't get into all the, like, oh, I got receipts and all that old shit. Like, man, I'm a grown-ass man and some pimping for real. So, you know, all the receipts and all that shit is cool, but that's what them bitches do. You know, but what I do know for sure is that, nigga, when Sinful passed away, up until the day that Sinful passed away, you know, Johnny didn't really have nothing good to say about me or to me or Sinful. And, you know, neither of us had really anything. Well, I ain't going to say that because Sinful actually did, up until he passed away, still had good shit to say about Johnny, right? And, but, you know, me, I never really spoke on him or thought about him or anything like that. When Sinful passed away, this man, of course, he went, you know, that's what busters do. They go and delete shit. But the nigga was in my DM, you know what I mean, pleading this case, talking about, oh, man, we supposed to be brothers. And man, call me, man, you know, we don't need to be into it. You know, I just had a heart attack and, you know, I see life differently now. You know, I ain't got time for the petty shit. All this shit. You know what I mean? But I know the nigga, though. You know what I mean? So that's why when he sent me that DM, I didn't even respond to it. But nigga, you just was in my DM crying when Sinful passed away. Talking about we, you know, on some Minister Society shit, we supposed to be brothers. You know what I mean? Now, you know, then after that, you know, you want me to get on Dinosaurs. See, this is what he do. Like, I don't talk about him. Like, we not here because I talked about him. We here because he talking about me. And what he didn't tell y'all earlier when he mentioned that we was live on Dinosaurs, that was another case of him talking about me. I don't talk about this nigga. I don't think about this nigga. None of that. Like, my life is beautiful right now. My day is beautiful right now. And I'm not going to feed this shit too much because I don't want to, you know, discontinue my beautiful ass day with the beautiful people that's around me. gonna address it for what it is, but I don't want to get too far gone off into this shit. But like I said, man, the man stay talking about me. He tried to flip it like I'm talking about him. I'm live all the time. Go back and find where I made a live about this nigga, man. Like recently. And even the times when I did make a live about the niggas because he talking about me. You know what I mean? And nigga can say what he want, get on here and pretend to do whatever he want to do. But this is where shit first went left for me. You know what I mean? With the nigga. We was cool at one point in time. You know? When all the slander came out with Sinful, when the court videos, I hate even talking about this shit because a nigga done talked about this shit a million fucking times. But when all them videos and shit came out about Sinful, you know what I mean? Johnny was one of those people that really knew Sinful. Well, I ain't gonna say they really knew him, but they done really chopped it up about each other's lives. And they done been on the phone for 4 or 5 hours at a time, a whole bunch of times. And Johnny was familiar with Sinful's case and the details about it, right? The shit that Sinful went to the penitentiary for. Johnny was familiar with it just like Sinful was familiar with his situation why he went to the pen, right? But when all that slander came out, you know, those videos and all that shit, it was like the DMV that was issued when everybody a license to hate on Sinful, right? So Johnny went to the DMV, got his license too, and started hating on Sinful his damn self, right? But it just looked funny coming from Johnny because, like, you don't really chopped it up with this man. You know what really took place. But you went over there, okay, so you do all of that, right? Then the nigga calls me one day, and, you know, anybody who've been in the streets and you've been in certain situations, you know what I'm talking about when I say this, but, you know, I don't know if any of y'all have never been on the phone with a motherfucker and you felt like a nigga was mic'd up. You know what I mean? You felt like a nigga was recording a conversation, or we all done had a bitch do that to us before for show. You know what I mean? Where you on the phone with the bitch, and the bitch, like, you could tell she recording just by the way she talking, and
Yeah,
you know,
that's
right, the way her voice is and everything, what she saying, you like, man, this bitch recording. I ain't finna say nothing wrong on this motherfucker, right? That's the energy that I got when this nigga called me. And then furthermore, what his stupid ass don't know is the nigga called me on my Android. Listen, man, anybody with an Android, you know what I'm talking about. When you call somebody on, like say me and Sharp on the phone, Goldie, and I call you, and I got Sharp on my other line, you got an Android, it's going to tell you, it's going to say multi-party call.
Yeah, I ain't even know that.
Yeah, Androids do that. So the nigga called me one day, and when I answered his call, it said multi-party call, letting me know that he, for sure, 1,000% got somebody else on the phone. And then what confirmed that is the way the nigga was talking when he got on the phone. See, me, it don't do nothing for me to lie on nobody. That's why, and I don't give a fuck how nobody feel about the truth. You know what I mean? The truth is what it is.
Real quick, Freeze, if I could interject real quick.
Go ahead.
When he said, so he never told you that somebody else was on the phone, because I may be forgetting it, but I thought he said that he told you somebody was on the phone.
No. He made it seem as if he was on the phone by himself. Later on, he admitted that he had somebody on the phone, but even the somebody that he said he had on the phone, of course, I can't prove it. But in my mind, that's not even who he had on the phone. He had somebody else on the phone. You know what I mean? So, but he had this person on the phone, and he was like, he was trying to probe me. He was trying to get me to say certain shit on the phone, but I was hip. So of course I wasn't feeding into it. And the conversation didn't last that long. We might have been on the phone maybe 2 minutes. It for sure wasn't 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't giving him what he wanted in the conversation. You know what I mean? So, but ever since he did that, that's like, it's my own personal thing with him. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like him and Sinful got into it, and I didn't like the way him and Sinful got into it, and that's why I fell out with him. No, I had my own personal experience with that put a bad taste in my mouth about him, and then it just went further from there. You know what I mean? See, listen, man, like, and this niggas in this motherfucking comment section who done did the same motherfucking thing, but guess what though, man? A nigga can say whatever they want about me, but I ain't no motherfucking snitch. I ain't never cooperated with nobody, no law enforcement, no none of that. You know what I mean? I'm a take whatever it come with, you know what I mean, before I do anything like that, a nigga it's a whole bunch of shit that's gonna happen, and death is one of them before a nigga cooperate and help the people do their job, right? And I'm not gonna fuck with nobody who fuck with somebody to help the people do their job. Hey, listen, man, we all know who that motherfucker is that be wearing them gorilla costumes and shit like that, right? And we know what that motherfucker about. We know what that motherfucker do. And certain people like myself know that motherfucker will send them people to your doorstep, right? I know that for sure. You know what I mean? Whether or not anybody else know it, that's on them. But me, I know that motherfucker will send them people to your doorstep. And he know that. You know what I mean? And how he go from, oh man, that motherfucker, he the police, and he this and he that. How he go from that to now he cool with him, and then he get into it with him again, and then he cool with him again, and he going live with the motherfucker, chopping it up with him and all that other type of shit. Come on, man. You know what I mean? They can't trust nobody like that, you know? And, you know, motherfucker, listen, this is the problem with the game, right? This is the problem with a lot of us that come from this lifestyle, right? We like to measure success by what we see, by what we wear. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that a motherfucker who's wearing the most can't also be the most successful. But we all, you know, those of us who come from the game know, you know, man, sometimes Pippen might be putting up a cold front. You know what I mean? Because he don't want to let motherfuckers see him sweat.
That's a fact.
Right. So what I'm saying is, you know, a motherfucker will have all this shit to show, but might have horrible credit. You know what I mean? Might be in debt like a motherfucker. Might you know, have all kind of fucked up shit going on. Might not have a dollar to their name, but they got a whole lot of shit to show you though. You know what I mean? So that shit don't mean nothing. And that's what he tried to use. Trying to use yesterday's points for today's game. Hey, listen, man, I know what's really going on, man. It ain't like that. It was like that once upon a time. Like I said, even if I don't like a motherfucker, I still keep it real about a motherfucker. Anybody who's been around, we all know that once upon a time you had it like that. But hey, man, it's 2024. You know what I mean? You can't take the points from 2008, 2007 and apply them to today's game and you still winning. Hey, man, we all know you was prom queen of King High School. You know what I mean? We all know that you scored 4 touchdowns in a single game at Polk High School back in the day, man. Hey, but it's 2024, man. You know what I mean? What you doing now? And who benefits by knowing you? You know what I mean?
That whole some truth.
Yeah, man. And see, like, this is obvious. Like, just again, a lot of people. You said what?
I said just like in general, overall, that whole truth, like, that's to anybody.
Yeah.
Motherfucker ain't gonna give a fuck about what I did back in 2007. Nobody, shit. They don't want to see your business and what you got going on today.
Hey, I don't even like talking about shit that I done in the past. You know what I mean? Because I'll be more focused on what I'm doing right now and what I'm gonna do in the future. You know what I mean? I don't even like talking about. And then, hey man, see, that's what a lot of older niggas don't be thinking about. You got motherfuckers like him. You know what I mean? Telling young bitches like about all these M's that he done touched and all this shit. Hey man, the young bitch don't give a fuck about that shit, man. And they make you look funny when you talking shit to a young bitch about what you done did that you can't show right now.
Or even what you got. Nigga, there's niggas with money, jewelry, all types of shit. It's a different day and age.
Right, and then not just that, but like, but see, I'm really for this game though, and I'm really in this shit, and I really know how this shit go, right? So I know that everybody who got certain things going on. Well, that was that. But yeah, that's what prompted that roasting, you know what I mean? Now, Ashley Banks says it's more clips from that live somewhere here on YouTube. Let me see. Cause this same channel, he might got the other clips because he got 2 of them. He might got the other clips on here too. I don't know. Where it was just Johnny and Sharp going at it, I guess. He ain't got a lot of videos on here. He only got 19.
Sinful to Pete, ex-homie Johnny Cash speak on the tragic news. And see, this is, hold on, I'm curious to see what this is, what he's saying on here. I don't think I've seen this.
Is ill of the dead. So whatever transpired between him and that girl, we'll never know because we weren't there. The jail for it, he came home and he did his thing ever since then. Because I personally knew the motherfucker. And he never gave me no inclination that I'm looking for little girls. And he,
I don't even see the comment. What they talking about, bitch?
Talking about rest in peace to the nigga.
To the nigga that had the 14-year-old girl.
Hey, man, check this out right here, man. Hey, man, check this out right here. Like Bishop just said, man, me and dude was not seeing eye to eye. And it was something that my spirit told me to reach out to him and talk to her. But that conversation never happened. But I ain't got nothing bad to say about that man. That man is resting right now. And you don't speak ill of the dead. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, man. Man, I hope that brother in heaven rejoicing with his mother, rejoicing with his family, and, you know, and watching over me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Hey, man, niggas be so goddamn bogus, man. See, this is my first time listening to this shit, man. And I'm guessing this must be right when they got the news that bro was gone, man. But niggas be so goddamn fraudulent. It's crazy, man. And see, you know, I don't know where to find this shit, and I don't even know if it's still on the internet. But what I do know is that after this, he talking about you don't speak ill of the dead, but the nigga done spoke ill of Sinful numerous times since then on different lives. This shit crazy, man. Boy, these niggas be so motherfucking fraudulent. Crazy, man.
Yeah. You know, I have to stick by this that everybody fuck up.
Everybody fuck up, man. Nobody perfect with this pimping, man.
I believe he fucked up. I believe he fucked up.
And we all make mistakes.
Because if you really read the paperwork, and I ain't going to keep expounding on this, if you read the paperwork, the law enforcement authorities were even fooled. They thought she was 19. She fooled them. It took them a couple of weeks to realize that she wasn't 19.
She was in the system and everything.
And see, I just, man, I hate how people be irresponsible with the truth sometimes, man. And you know, that individual that was saying that it took him a couple of weeks. No, it didn't take no couple of weeks. But that part that she fooled not law enforcement is true. They did think she was 19, just like everybody else thought she was 19. But it didn't take a couple of weeks. It took about 72 hours for them to find out how old she was. And that was only because she came out of her own mouth and told them what her age really was because she was tired of sitting in jail. And that's when they found out how old she was. But it wasn't no couple of weeks or few weeks. It was about 3 days.
And the bitch was in the system. She was in this big jail. She was in the wrong people jail and everything.
Right. If you know what I'm saying? Police. Like, what the fuck?
And see, you see there how the GOAT just admitted or let it be known that he realized that, you know, she was in the adult jail because they thought she was an adult, but come to find out she wasn't an adult. He's letting it be known that he's letting it be known that he had knowledge of this, right? But any other time he try to make it seem like he don't know the details of that, and that, you know, he try to make it seem like, you know, bro was this predator and all this old shit, man. Like I said, man, niggas be so goddamn fraudulent. It's a shame.
Man, like I said, hey man, I can never say that me and that guy was an enemy. He was not an enemy, because guess what? When you're an enemy and you really beefing, blood.
I wouldn't say that because we done all got down together. That's why
you feel what I'm saying? So we just had a misunderstanding. Like I told a young PI last night. Eventually, I'm gonna chop it up with Freeze, and me and him gonna put our little misunderstanding to the side, and we gonna, you know, live the pimp another day, man. You know, because after K Red passed, then this shit, man, just an eye opener, man. You know what I'm saying? Life too short for that bullshit.
I'll take away from the nigga's brilliance. I'm gonna keep it 100. Sinful. If you never was around him, that was a very intellectually quick-witted young man.
Hey man,
I ain't gonna sit here and act like me and that man ain't one talking on the phone every day.
Yeah,
Me and
right.
that man ain't one going live, doing classic lives together.
You know, I
call
know.
this man my brother. I called this man my brother at one point. You know, we just fell out. Niggas fall out. You know what I'm saying?
And brothers beef. Brothers have fights.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, you know, we got time. Like I say, this man, I open my brother was 37. Man, I'm thinking we got time. I call him.
And it's so goddamn funny, man, because what y'all don't know that Sinful knew and that I still know is that these two niggas that's on live together talking with each other, they don't even like each other. Them niggas don't even like each other, man. I don't even know how they ended up on the live together because, yeah, man, I ain't even gonna get into the details, but them niggas don't even like each other, man. That shit crazy.
Eventually we run into each other, talk, but hey, man, God so different. That's why I'm like, fuck all that beef and shit. That's why as soon as K-Red passed.
What I told you like 2 weeks ago, though. I said, yo, you better take care of yourself, right? Didn't I tell you that?
Yep. Hell yeah.
Didn't I tell you that, Cash? I said, hey, you doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
you taking care of yourself. I'm concerned.
Exactly.
Because I'm genuinely concerned. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no bullshit.
That's one of the last conversations we had, bro. You did ask me, like, you on top of your shit, right? You know everything I'm supposed to do, man.
Right.
Shit, that was the fair, man.
I'm gonna tell y'all how old I am, so y'all, people don't even know this shit. I'm 48 years old. I have outlived so many young.
Yeah, shit be funny, man. But as you can see, he was trying to act like, you know, he had so much love and respect for bro, but went on to disrespect bro's name after that. And at that same time that he did this live, which I'm guessing that, like I said, that had to been when they first got the news because they was talking about it like it was fresh. But at that time, the man was in my DM crying. And he's saying on there, yeah, me and Freeze gonna talk and put our differences to the side. Man, knock it off, man. Oh, man, niggas be hilarious, though. But enough of that shit. Let me see, man. Hold on. Pretty sure I got some supers to shout out. Oh, I didn't even see that, Lojo. Hold on. Lojo, good looking with the $2 holla. I'm going to put the Vimeo link in the chat. See, I didn't even see that. I got to go back and find that link. See what you're talking about. Money, good looking with the $5 holla. Appreciate you. Angel of Wrath, good looking with the $2 holla. That Jermaine Jackson roast was hilarious. Yeah, man, that's what he was looking like, man. Y'all go to my shorts, you'll see the short where I clipped that part, and I put his picture side by side with Jermaine Jackson's picture. He for sure had the Jermaine Jackson hairstyle, man. Slapped on top of his head like, for sure. They can't never let that go. See, that's the thing, man. When you put certain shit on the internet, man, it's gonna live forever on the internet, man. And that shit is on the internet. It's there. Johnetta, good looking with the Flow State jewel. Or the Flow State gift. There was some other gifts on here that I didn't catch. Let's see if I can see them real quick. Hold up. Let me scroll. Okay, it's a few of them. No guarantees. Good looking with the thumbs up gif. Yarda D, good looking with the flow state gif. Ashley Banks, good looking with the flow state gif. And Sepulveda the Prince, good looking with the 100 gif. You dig? The 100. Yeah. And if you gave a gift and I missed you, man, I apologize. Because the gifts be kind of hard to keep up with. They be harder to keep up with than the supers. Like the super chats and the super stickers and all that. The gifts, they kind of make it a little harder to keep up with. But I guess because it's new, you know, that's the issue. Oh, this the whole thing. It looked like the whole thing. This is what we gonna do, man. I'm gonna wrap this live up, and I'll come back and I'll do a review about that, and then we might just chop some general game and shit like that. But yeah, man, we gonna go ahead and wrap this one on up because we already been live almost 3 hours. But we gonna come back very shortly and resume with this game. But in the meantime, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. I appreciate you sharing this video. I appreciate all the comments, questions, input, feedback, all that good stuff. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you for hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats, cash apps, PayPals, gifts. I appreciate your support in every which way that you comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freezes it. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.